Hi, I'm Matt Patterson with the Oklahoman, and we're back with another edition of Zoo Tales on this chilly, kind of cool Tuesday afternoon. I'm joined by James Lowry, who is the Director of Security at the zoo.
Manager of Security.
Manager of Security, excuse me. And Rebecca Snyder, who heads up the zoo's conservation efforts. We're talking bees today, and James, you're kind of the bee guy at the zoo. They don't work security for you, I'm guessing, but talk about just how you got involved in bees and what you find interesting about them.
Absolutely. Well, back in 2012, I was kind of told everybody, I was kind of going down that YouTube rabbit hole. You know, you kind of click on one video to the next, and I stumbled upon a video about beekeeping, and it struck my interest, and then I started kind of delving into the topic more and was learning about colony collapse disorder, and you know, it really struck my interest. So I joined a beekeeping club and attended meetings, was learning more about it, and then that interest kind of lasted for several years before I started getting my own hives. And then from then I started working my own apiary with, you know, started with Italian bees and then Carnioleans.
Yeah.
So,
is it a lot of work? I mean,
yeah, it's a good bit of work. I mean, during the midsummer, we found out yesterday working it, you sweat a lot.
Yeah, right.
You know, especially here in Oklahoma. But it's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding, to say the least.
What's the most complicated thing about it? I mean,
really, it's just learning to read the bees. You know, listening to them, watching what they're doing, reading the laying, you know, looking at the laying patterns, and trying to determine what they're doing, what they're thinking, and making sure that, you know, they're prepared to go into winter. You know, winter's kind of our big season where, you know, if you have any pests, any issues with varroa, stuff like that, it really comes to the forefront. So that's the most difficult part, is make sure you've done everything you can to help keep bees and make sure that they're successful.
have you been stung, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I've only been stung twice, so only once while beekeeping. So,
what do you, I mean, do they yield, do you use the honey, do you use kind of the byproducts that come from?
absolutely. So you can harvest kind of the three products you get out of beekeeping. You have honey, which is what most people know about. Then you have wax. A lot of people make, you know, hand, face products, stuff like that, cosmetics. You can do, and then there's also propolis. And then the propolis is used in medicine, stuff like that.
So is it as fun as you thought it would be, or?
Absolutely. No, beekeeping, when you learn more about how bees work, how the colony kind of organizes itself, it definitely, it captivates you. You know,
Yeah.
It's kind of what drug me into it and what's kind of kept me going. So,
Rebecca, talk about just the application of pollination for the zoo. 120 acres you guys have.
Yeah, so we of course we're a botanical garden in addition to being a zoo, so pollinators are really important for making the zoo continue to have flowers and look nice. But as you know, pollinators are really important for our ecosystem in general. For people, they don't just make our environment look nice, they're really important for crop production.
Right.
And so pretty much all of the pollinators around the world are in decline, so that's of great concern for our ecosystems. And so, as you know, the zoo is part of this Oklahoma Monarch and Pollinator Collaborative, where we are encouraging people throughout the state to plant for pollinators. And the monarch is our umbrella species pollinator for that, but the bees are extremely important. They're actually the more productive of the pollinator species, or all the bee species. Butterflies do some work in that area, but the bees are the ones who really carry the lion's share of pollination.
How long will it take you guys to see some benefits from having them at the zoo? I mean, or will you know? I mean, how will you know that they're pollinating?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, you'll see the benefits immediately. Bees in general, I mean, they get right to work from the second we install them from the nooks. They're out there foraging, so they're gathering pollen and nectar, and you know, which is benefiting the local plants. So I mean, the immediate benefits, you know, they start right away, and then over time, you know, as the population grows, you know, the benefits continue over time. So.
I mean, will people be able to see them? Like the hives, are they in an area where they can be viewed by guests, or?
So we have it down by the elephant yard. It's a good distance away from any public area, just for safety reasons. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We use Italian bees. They're a very friendly bee to work. But you can see it from a distance from the elephant boardwalk. But we do keep it a pretty good distance away from the public.
So is this a common thing with zoos? Is this happening more and more? Or?
I know several zoos that have beehives, so I don't know how common it is, but it's not rare.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys will be selling the honey too, right? In the future, that might be something people can buy if they're interested.
Definitely. The goal is eventually we'd like to be able to sell honey. I mean, we're not producing a very large amount, right now, really just be smaller amounts, but kind of the main focus for us is education, really educating the public and, driving the importance of pollinators and, really focusing on the zoo's mission, so.
Yeah, all right. Bees, they're interesting. I mean, we've talked about them here before, and they're obviously a huge part of our food, chain and everything else that people kind of take for granted. I mean,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it, and we'll see you guys at the zoo.
Yeah.
Sounds
Thanks,
good.
Matt.
Thank you.